Hi, my name is George Red. This video is for task 1, creating a lesson plan using backwards design. The lesson title is solving two-step word problems using addition, subtraction, and multiplication. The subject would be mathematics, and this is in a 3rd grade general education classroom. I'm located in North Carolina. So this state academic standard is going to be NC.3.OA.8, and that states that students will solve two-step word problems using addition, subtraction, and multiplication, representing problems using equations with a symbol for the unknown number. The learning objective for the lesson is: given a two-step word problem, students will write an equation using a symbol for the unknown and solve using addition, subtraction, and/or multiplication, and will score 80% accuracy on the end of lesson exam. So in this lesson, I'm going to utilize whiteboards for the students, markers, notebooks for them, pencils, erasers, tablets. If I were in a classroom, they would have those. And for the sake of the lesson, I will be using my computer monitor and my small whiteboard here to mimic what would be either a projector or a smartboard for the lesson. So with that, I'm going to get into the lesson. Okay. Hello everyone. Today we are going to be starting a new math lesson on two-step word problems. And you're probably wondering yourself, word problems, what is a two-step word problem? We are going to go over all of that today. So, I'm going to start with a quick little story here about Tucker. Tucker bought 3 packs of gum, each containing 6 pieces of gum. He gave Luke 4 pieces of gum. How many pieces of gum does Tucker have left? Okay, so this is going to be an example of one of our two-step word problems. And to figure out kind of how to solve this problem, we have to figure out first what we need to find. So first, obviously, we see here in the question, how many pieces of gum does Tucker have left? So at the end of the day, that's what we're going to try to find, is how many pieces of gum does Tucker have left. And for that, we're going to let that have a symbol. So we're going to say the number of pieces Tucker has left is going to be the letter X. We're going to say X equals gum left over. Okay, that's great. But how are we going to find that? Well, we see that we have numbers in there, and to find this, we know that we're going to have to write some sort of equation. So when we have equations, we're going to have mathematical symbols. Like what? Addition has a plus sign, subtraction with the minus, and multiplication will have our multiplication sign, the X. So when we go through these word problems, now that we know we need to find the operations and we need to find the gum that's left over, well, we're going to need to find the numbers as well, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go through go through our word problem again. And we're going to read through it again, looking for our numbers. So Tucker bought 3 packs of gum. So we see we have a 3. So I'm going to write down the number 3. And then I'm going to keep going through packs of gum, each containing 6 pieces. So we know we have 6, so that's another number. And then we're going to keep going through, and he gave away 4 pieces of gum to Luke. So I see the number 4. So I'm going to go ahead and write down the number 4 as well. Go through, and those are all the numbers I see. So now that we have the numbers, we have our symbol, now we need to find our operation. So when we see up here, we have 3 packs of gum, and each pack of gum has 6 pieces in it. So instead, we're not going to do addition here, but because we have groups of things containing other things, we're going to use our multiplication sign here. So in between this 3 and our 6, I'm going to put an X. And we know we need to find this first before we take away anything. So I'm going to put parentheses around this, and that'll let us know to do this multiplication problem first. And then we see here that Tucker is giving away pieces of gum to Luke. So he is taking away. So we know when we take away, we're going to subtract. So that's going to be our minus sign here, right? Okay. So then when we get that, so we have all our total gum, and when we take it away, we know that that is going to equal to our leftover pieces of gum, which is going to be X. Great. So now let's work through this. So if we've got 3 times 6, we can just draw this out. We can do 3, or 6 groups of 3. 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 3 more. 2, 3. Okay. Because we have 3 groups of 6, or 6 groups of 3 rather. So we're going to add these up, and that's going to give us 18. So now we know we have 18 total pieces of gum, but we're giving away 4. So we're going to do 18 minus 4, and that's going to be equal to our x. We're going to keep bringing that down. And let's take away 4 dots out of here. Take 1 row there, and we'll take 1 additional one there. So then when we count these up, we have 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14. So that means 14 is equal to x, and we know that x is the number of pieces of gum we have left over. So for the answer to this problem, we will say that when Tucker buys 3 packs of gum, each containing 6 pieces, he gave Luke 4 pieces of gum. How many pieces of gum does Tucker have left? Tucker has 14 pieces of gum left over. So that's going to be an example of our 2-step word problems and how we're going to solve them. So together, we are going to do a couple more, and then after that, once you feel comfortable, we're going to break into some groups and do a little bit of group work. So for now, let's go into this one. Let's read again. Ella has 2 boxes of cookies, each containing 12 cookies. She decides to share 3 cookies with her sister Nora. How many cookies does Ella have left? Well, let's think about what we did before, right? So what are we looking to find? We're looking to find how many cookies that Ella has left. So let's make that be the letter Y. Y is equal to leftover cookies. All right, well, that's great. How are we going to find how many the leftover cookies? Well, let's go back through and let's find our numbers again. So Ella has 2 boxes of cookies. Great. Each containing 12 cookies. So we're going to put our 12 down. Great. And she decides to share 3 cookies with her sister Nora. How many cookies does she have left? So I see the number 3. Great. So we have our numbers. We have our symbol up here for what we're looking for. And now what do we need? Right, our symbols for our operations. So, again, we know we have to find the total of cookies before we can take any away. So we have the 2 and the 12. And we're not going to add those, but we're going to multiply. Correct. And we know we need to do that first. So we're going to put our parentheses around. And then it says here that Ella is sharing 3 cookies with her sister Nora. So if Ella is sharing 3 of her cookies, we're going to be taking them away, which is subtracting. So I'm going to put our minus sign there. And then we know that once we get our total and we take away our 3, that will be equal to our leftover cookies, which we decided would be Y. Okay? So again, we're going to work our way through this. We can draw this out. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we need 2 groups of those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. So that means we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 24 will be our total number of cookies. And we know that we're taking away 3 because she's sharing with her sister. So we're going to say minus 3. We can take away 3 right here of our dots, leaving us with 21. So that means Y is 21. And we know that Y is the leftover number of cookies. So that means in this problem, how many cookies does Ella have left? Ella has 21 cookies left over. Great. Let's do one more together, and then we will break off into our groups. Okay. All right. Cannon has 2 buckets of baseballs, each containing 9 balls. He takes out 3 balls from one of the buckets for a baseball game. How many baseballs are left in his buckets? Great. So what are we going to do again? What are we trying to find out? We're trying to find out how many baseballs are left in the bucket after Cannon starts his baseball game. So let's make that, we'll make it a B, equals balls left in bucket. Great. And then, what do we do next? We're going to go find our numbers. So we see that Cannon has 2 buckets, each that have 9 balls. Put our 9. And then he's going to take out 3 balls from one of the buckets. So we got a 3 here. So and then we go through, and I don't see any more numbers. So let's see our operations. So again, we've got grouped here. So we're going to do some multiplication. So we're going to put our multiplication sign. And we are taking out 3 balls for him to start his game with. So when we take something away, we're going to subtract. And then we know that with all of our numbers, that's going to be our equation. Oh yeah, and we're going to put our parentheses around because we know we need to find our total first. And that is going to be equal to B, which we said is the balls left in the bucket. So we can draw it out one more time. Or if you know your multiplication tables at this point, you don't have to draw it out, but this is just a good visualization if you need it. We can do 2 groups of 9. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we'll do that one more time. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. When we count those up, we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. So that means our total number of baseballs when we start is going to be 18. And we know we're taking away 3 of those baseballs. So let's subtract 3 by taking away 3 out of our drawing here. And we count that up again. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. So what that means here, we'll have 15. And then that means 15 is equal to B. And we've said B is the balls left in the bucket. So when we look at our problem again, Cannon has 2 buckets of baseballs, each containing 9 balls. He takes out 3 balls from one of the buckets for a baseball game. How many baseballs are left in the buckets? Well, we see that Cannon has 15 baseballs left in his bucket. Okay. We feel good about this, everyone? Yes? Good. So next, I want everyone, you're already sitting in pods now, so I want you to work in groups. There you should see some note cards laminated on your desks. Each of those has about 3 word problems on there. I want you all to work on those in groups, writing on your whiteboards, working together, answering each other's questions. If you have questions, I'll be walking around and I can help you with those. Okay, and that would be the end of the direct instruction aspect of the lesson. And then after that, like I said, they would work and do some guided practice in groups, which would then be followed after about 15 minutes or so in those and reviewing those problems with each other. We'd work into an independent practice for about 15 minutes, which students would solve problems more independently with problems that I would come up with and put on the whiteboard. And I would encourage them to follow the same steps that we went over and to just reemphasize what we were doing before. And then they would check their work independently on those after they worked through the problems that are on the board in their notebook. And at the end of this lesson, we would review the word problems and allow them to ask any questions that they may have had after they self-reviewed their independent activity. And this would be preparing them for a future summative exam at the end, probably on a different day after we've re-emphasized the lesson a couple more times with different activities. But yes, thank you for your time, and that was my task one video.